So by default, the investment levels in US are one notch separated, one notch different than in US. So where a Series A in Europe is a seed investment here.
Overall, of course, investments are the lifeline of what gets a startup from an idea to being a reality and a real business.
It's about getting in front of the right people, but it's also about having the right network. So I think first things first is build your network as much as possible. I think even before you come out to the US, number two is the storytelling piece. I think the best pitches I've seen are the ones that we like to say at the studio, like something called the wow factor. And it's that moment in a presentation or in the pitch where someone says, like, oh my God, wow, like, I'm gonna remember that. And as a European entrepreneur, you have a unique perspective. So bring that into your pitch.
In Holland, the investors that I talked to looked at what has been achieved, all kind of metrics that you need to deliver. And I think even though I'm shortly in the US at this moment, is to see that they're looking for, hey, what are your goals? How do you want to achieve it?
There's always a very specific thesis that a VC has. So when you do your homework, in that process you will find out what the requirements are. And it's also part of your selection process on which VC to pitch to and which not. Obviously, Silicon Valley is the leading spot in the world for venture capital, but it's also very specific to different tech sectors by and large. Whereas other cities, like New York, has a very strong financial services focus. So there's also there's a large contingent of venture capital firms that are based in New York because that's where the market is. Same thing here in LA. There's a huge automotive market, there's a huge space market, there's a huge retail and production market. Here there's quite a diverse sort of lifestyle market. So it requires some geographic segmentation on where you want to explore. And that's part of the homework.
Of course, you want to have an investor who can support your growth not just today but also in future rounds. You also want to find a partner in growth rather than somebody who's just writing you a check. So they're smart money, people who are actually invested in your potential, your growth, and can unlock doors for you, make introductions, and also give you advice when you need it.
With the funding request, in Holland I'm a bit more cautious on how far you can go with the ask. And here I think people are more want to see these bold plans. But it's also hard to make bold plans if you come from a place that, be normal, that's good enough. So it's a balancing act.
You need to make that translation. You need to, first of all, don't pitch euros, right? Don't make somebody do the math for you. Pitch dollars in a US specific funding proposition. So by default, the investment levels in US are one notch separated, one notch different than in US. So where a Series A in Europe is a seed investment here, which is a huge difference in terms of administration, expectations, and all of that. And you need presence here. Your founders need to be here to pitch it. Let's say somebody's done the exact, all the homework. Well, guess what happens? The VC likes it. Say, come to my office tomorrow. It's not going to be a call with a 9-hour time difference, right? So you need to be ready to follow through, be locally present. Once you kick it in gear, you just need to be here.